Hello everyone, welcome to Home Cooking with me Hema Subramanian. During any festivities, we love to prepare and indulge in an elaborate meal. Today I'm going to share a wonderful festive menu that you can enjoy and share with your family and friends. So let's get started and check it out. To make this sweet pongal or the Sakkarai Pongal, I've taken about 1 cup of raw rice measured with a 250 ml cup. Wash it a few times, pour enough water and let it soak. To a nice wide and deep pot, pour about 1.5 liters of water. To this I'm adding half cup of washed Moong Dal. Add it to the pot, mix it well and let this cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. When the Moong Dal is almost 90% cooked, add the soaked raw rice. I'm adding another 1 liter of water to cook the rice. Mix everything well. So you can see the rice is cooked beautifully along with the Moong Dal and it's got this lovely creamy texture. So at this point I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of ghee. Mix it along with the rice and keep it aside. To a pan, add about half cup of ghee. I'm going to roast a few cashew nuts. When the cashew nuts are almost golden in color, add a few raisins. Once the raisins have plumped up, I'm adding about 1 cup of grated copra, that is the dry coconut. So if you don't have the grated dry coconut, you can also use fresh coconut, but make sure you roast everything well. So the dry coconut is going to give a nice flavor to the pongal. Next I'm adding 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder and about 3 to 4 cloves. Mix everything well. Turn off the stove and keep this aside. To another saucepan, add about 500 grams of jaggery. Pour a little water for the jaggery to dissolve. Mix everything well. Once the jaggery is completely melted and dissolved, add the roasted mixture, that is the cashew nuts, raisins and the dry coconut, into the jaggery and mix everything well. So once you've added all these ingredients, let it cook just for about a minute or so. Turn off the stove and keep it aside. Now place the rice pot back on the stove. Transfer the jaggery mixture into the rice and mix everything well. Make sure it's all well combined. You can see how creamy and delicious the rice looks. Now this is a very simple recipe and it's extremely tasty. You get this perfect temple style Sakkarai Pongal, that is the sweet pongal that you get in temples, and the flavor is very different from the usual pongal that we make at home. So you can make it a little more richer by adding another 2 tablespoons of ghee to finish it off. The sweet pongal or the Sakkarai Pongal has come together so beautifully. Turn off the stove. So the temple style sweet pongal or the Sakkarai Pongal is done and you can enjoy this nice and warm. This is a perfect sweet that you can enjoy and make it for nice special occasions or for special festivals. Just make sure you follow all the steps to try the recipe and please post your comments in the comment section and let me know how it turned out for you guys. For the Masala Vada, first we're going to soak the Chana Dal. For this recipe I've taken 1 cup of Chana Dal. Wash the Chana Dal, pour enough water and soak it for about 2 hours. After 2 hours you can see the Chana Dal is soaked beautifully. So take a little bit of the Chana Dal and keep it aside. So now we're going to grind the batter for the Masala Vada. To the mixer jar, add 2 tablespoons of the Chana Dal first. Add 1 teaspoon of Fennel Seeds, a small piece of cinnamon and 2 cloves. Next add 4 red chilies, half teaspoon salt. First grind all these ingredients together. Now add the remaining chana dal to the mixer jar. So you can see the vada batter has been ground to a nice coarse mixture. So I have ground this without adding any water. So pulse it a few times and grind the vada batter to a nice coarse mixture. Transfer the vada batter to a bowl. To the batter, add the remaining soaked chana dal, 1 medium-sized onion finely chopped, about 3 cloves of garlic finely chopped, a piece of ginger finely chopped, 2 green chilies finely chopped, a few curry leaves finely chopped, and some chopped coriander leaves. Mix everything together. At this point you can check for seasoning, and if you do need to add a little bit of salt, you can add. So the masala vada batter is ready. Now let's start making the vadas. Take a little bit of the batter, just roll it. Keep it on the other palm and gently flatten it. You don't want the masala vadas to be too thick. So this way when you fry it, it will be nice and crispy and it will cook through. Take a kadai, pour enough oil for deep frying. Once the oil is hot, gently drop in the vadas. Deep fry the vadas till they are a nice golden brown color. Make sure you deep fry them on medium-low flame. You don't want to keep them on high, because what happens is the color changes very quickly and the vadas will be uncooked inside. So once the vadas have turned to a nice golden brown color, remove them from the hot oil and keep it aside. Take half cup of tur dal and wash it. Add enough water to pressure cook the dal. Add the dal. To this, add quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder. Pressure cook the dal for about 4 to 5 whistles on medium flame. Keep the dal aside. Next, for the sambar powder, heat a pan, add 1 tablespoon of chana dal, 1 tablespoon urud dal and roast them. Add 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds and roast them. Next, add quarter teaspoon of fenugreek seeds, 1 teaspoon of peppercorns and roast them again along with 10 red chilies. Dry roast all the ingredients till they turn golden in color. Add quarter cup of desiccated coconut. You can also use freshly grated coconut. Roast it and keep it aside to cool. Transfer the ingredients to a mixer jar. Grind it to a nice fine powder. The sambar powder is ready, keep it aside. Heat a kadai with some oil. Add 1 teaspoon of urud dal, 1 teaspoon chana dal, half teaspoon mustard seeds. Once the mustard seeds splatter, add 2 red chilies, quarter teaspoon of asafoetida powder and a few curry leaves. Add 20 shallots and saute them nicely. When the shallots have turned to a nice golden color, add 2 large tomatoes finely chopped. Saute them for about 5 minutes. Next, add 6 to 7 brinjals cut into pieces. One large drumstick cut into pieces, and mix all the vegetables together. Add 1 teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder and mix well. After about 5 minutes, add 1 cup of diluted tamarind puree. Then add 1 cup of water and let it boil for about 10 to 15 minutes. Once the tamarind puree is thickening, add the cooked dal. And add another 2 cups of water and mix it well. Now add 2 tablespoons of sambar powder and bring it to a boil. Now if you need to add more sambar powder, you can add another extra tablespoon. Let it boil for about 5 minutes. Finally add some chopped coriander leaves. And turn off the stove and serve it nice and hot with some nice steamed rice. For the brinjal stir fry, I've taken about half kilo of fresh brinjals. Wash them nice and clean. Cut off the heads with the stalk and cut the brinjal into 4 vertically. Place the brinjal pieces in water so they don't change color or they don't turn dark. So now I'm going to make a very nice masala powder that goes very well with the stir fry. To the pan, add about half cup of peanuts. Now you can use roasted peanuts with or without the skin. Even if you're using roasted peanuts, just make sure you roast them one more time before making the powder. Transfer the roasted peanuts to another plate and keep this aside. To the same pan, add 2 teaspoons of coriander seeds, 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 8 Jaggery chilies. Next, add about 3 cloves of garlic. Just dry roast all these ingredients. Now if you don't want to use garlic, you can make this powder without using garlic as well. But garlic definitely adds to the flavor of the powder. Roast these ingredients for about 2 to 3 minutes. Transfer to the same plate. Cool the mixture completely. Once the ingredients have cooled down, transfer it to a mixer jar and grind it to a nice fine powder. Halfway through, add half teaspoon of rock salt and pulse it a few more times. The peanut masala powder is ready. Keep this aside. To a nice wide pan, add about 3 tablespoons of oil. Once the oil is hot, add half teaspoon of mustard seeds, 1 teaspoon urud dal and 1 teaspoon chana dal. Just roast them. Once the mustard seeds start splattering, add quarter teaspoon of hing, that is acerator powder. Next, add 3 green chilies slit. Now add 2 medium-sized onions that have been roughly chopped. Saute the onions till they turn to a nice golden color. Now add a few curry leaves. Next, add the cut brinjal pieces. Like I mentioned, this is about half kilo of brinjals that I've taken here. Saute the brinjals on high flame for about 2 to 3 minutes. When the brinjals are half cooked, add the ground peanut masala powder and mix everything well. You can see the brinjal pieces are coated beautifully with that masala powder. You can check for seasoning at this point and add a little salt if you need it. So continue to cook the brinjal just to make sure that the vegetable is cooked through. It's a very nice and simple dish to make. So after 15 minutes, if you see, the vegetable is cooked beautifully. It's nice and soft and tender. Turn off the stove at this point and the brinjal stir fry with this tasty peanut masala powder is ready to be served. Now I am serving it with some nice hot sambar rice by the side. You can enjoy it however you like. You can eat it just by mixing it with some rice, or you can enjoy it with some nice rasam. Let me tell you, this is a wonderful dish that you can make with brinjals and everybody will absolutely love it. I've already made it a few times at home. We couldn't get enough of this dish. I'll give you a couple of links to the other brinjal dishes that I've made earlier. You can check them out. So to make the payasam, to a saucepan, add half liter of thick full cream milk. So this is boiled milk. Reduce the milk to half its quantity till it becomes nice and thick. So keep mixing the milk at intervals so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the saucepan. Scrape off the sides. So you can see the milk has reduced nicely. I'm going to pour 1 cup of sweetened condensed milk. So you can see the milk is instantly thickened after adding the sweetened condensed milk and the color has changed. Now I'm going to add just a half teaspoon of cardamom powder. Mix it nicely. Turn off the stove and cool the milk completely. To a pan, add a little bit of ghee. I'm just going to roast a few cashew nuts. I've roasted the cashew nuts to a lovely golden color. Remove them from the pan and keep it aside. To make coconut milk, to the mixer jar, I've taken 1 cup of fresh coconut bits. Add 1 cup of water. Now if you need more water, you can always add a little excess. Grind it to a nice fine puree. Now we're going to strain this coconut puree through a muslin cloth to take the coconut milk. I'm taking some fresh tender coconut water to a bowl. Now keep this aside. You will need about 2 to 3 tender coconuts for this recipe. Scoop out the tender coconut flesh and keep it aside. I've taken half cup of the tender coconut flesh and I've added about 1/4 cup of tender coconut water. Grind it to a nice fine puree. So remove this and keep it aside. Chop the fresh tender coconut into small pieces. While making this payasam, make sure the tender coconut is a bit sweet. You don't want to use a tender coconut that's sour or salty. Now the milk has cooled down completely. To this, add half cup of the fresh tender coconut puree. Next, add half cup of fresh thick coconut milk. Add the chopped fresh tender coconut pieces. Mix everything together. Finally, add some roasted cashew nuts. This absolutely delicious tender coconut payasam is done. Make sure you serve it nice and chilled. For the coconut sesame ladoos, first I'm going to roast 1 cup of sesame seeds. This is a 250 ml cup. This is roughly about 120 grams. Just roast it till you get a nice light golden color. Maintaining the flame on a medium, roast the sesame seeds. So you can see the sesame seeds are a light golden color. This is a good time to turn off the stove and keep this aside. So just transfer it to a plate and cool the sesame seeds. So next I am adding half cup of roasted peanuts. This is without skin. I am just going to roast it just for about 1 to 2 minutes. So after roasting it for about 2 minutes, keep this aside. So next to the pan I am adding 3/4 cup of dry desiccated coconut. It's best to use the dry desiccated coconut for this recipe. Just roast it till it turns to a lovely golden color. So you can see it's turned to a lovely golden color. It turns pretty quickly, so be careful, you don't want to burn the coconut. Turn off the stove at this point and keep this aside. Once you've roasted all the ingredients, make sure you cool it completely. So next we're going to blend all the ingredients together for the laddu mixture. Now I'm using a food processor to blend this, but you can also use a mixer jar. So add the roasted sesame seeds. Next add the roasted peanuts. First I'm going to blend these two together. So first grind it to a nice coarse mixture. Next add the roasted desiccated coconut, 1 teaspoon cardamom powder, so now you can see the ingredients have been ground to a nice coarse mixture. Now I am going to finally add the jaggery. Now I have just grated the jaggery, so it will be easy to grind. I have taken about 3/4 cup. So all the measurement is done from a 250 ml cup. So you can see when all the mixture starts binding together like this. So when you hold it, you should be able to bind the mixture. This is a good indication that the mixture is ready. So I'm just going to transfer into a bowl. So I didn't make it too fine, like a fine powder. It will have a nice nutty texture to it. So next I'm just going to add a little ghee. You can first add about 1 tablespoon of ghee, and if you need more you can always add a little extra later. So just mix it all in. The mixture smells amazing with the smell of sesame, coconut and the peanuts. Oh, I can't actually wait to eat those laddus. They are too tempting now. So after you've mixed the ghee, so you can see, so this is nice, it's binding very well. Take a little bit of the mixture that you can hold in your palm and just keep rolling it until you get a lovely round laddu.